I learned so much being a closed-off little nerd, in the pre-internet dark ages through video games and other media. No, I really did. And I feel that you're wasting an opportunity to teach people about other cultures by not having them in games.
Hello and welcome to a Sticky Trigger chat. My name's Crinji. I'm joined by editor-in-chief and video producer for Sticky Trigger, Nick Gatley. Hey Nick, how's it going?
Good, thanks for having me.
At some point, I'm not going to be the host of this show, right? Like at some point, people are going to... It's not going to be me going, welcome to another... Hi, I'm radio's Jack Crinjanin. Like at some point, I'm going to volume down on that.
I love your presentation skills and your... So no. I'll start paying you with bickies to go with those cups of tea.
Mail me Tim Tams would be good. This chat's going to be a little bit about diversity within games. I was talking to Nick earlier today, and you brought up the Gaming for Everyone events and I suppose marketing media that was coming out of Xbox. Would you mind kind of elaborating a little bit about what that was?
Going through my YouTube subscriptions, and I'm subscribed to a number that I use for Sticky Trigger, and I came across a number of videos from Xbox to do with their Gaming for Everyone at Game Developers Conference 2017, and there's a number of videos that are to do with what they had planned for events for representing different minorities. So you've got women in gaming, blacks in gaming, Latinos in gaming, LGBTQ in gaming, and really disappointed to see that these were just uploaded and the comments were already disabled, and the number of dislikes to likes on the videos is just staggering. It just bothers me, and I just thought, holy crap, like surely we're past this point, and of course we're not. Just really disappointed me to see that. So yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that today.
The part you mentioned there about like being beyond this point, like within our line of work, like we might go to events, we might speak to people we work with, whether it's internally or externally. Like a lot of the people tend to be very open-minded and tend to be very friendly and approachable. But then like coming across something like this online, like within the greater community, I suppose, do you think that there'd be anything specific to Australia or specific to the work that we do that makes us a little bit less maybe inflammatory to this sort of content?
It's hard to say. I feel sometimes that we do in games media, we work with some fantastic people doing some really amazing work to do with diversity, and I don't even question it. Someone at a games event will come up to me and say, I'm developing a game with this, and they work with a number of females or a mix of people or whatever. I don't ever feel that they're going to push like a perspective or something onto me. But then you step out of our little pond and you look at the giant ocean, and it's just still so white hetero.
It's a cesspool.
It is, but it's just so... Because I think, oh God, we're really making waves because I see nothing but the positive stuff, but I have my blinders on a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And then when I actually look out at the expanse, it's just so negative.
In the situation that we're in right now as well, it's now June, we're in the lead up to E3, we're rapidly approaching E3, and it's going to be a lot of late nights, certainly. And we were talking a little bit before we started rolling about what impact these kind of events have on the industry. Like specifically, you were like, how many black protagonists do we have? How many Latino? Has the women in game situation, not only within like developers or people that work in the industry, but also characters that we see? Not many characters have, like, particularly at last E3, there wasn't a whole lot of diversity within the main characters shown, were there?
No, not at all. And there's not a lot of diversity being shown in games that are being developed, but I feel events like this from Xbox, they do make it a talking point for a lot of people. Like there's steps that these things go through. So like, okay, it's a talking point, and then we'll try this, and then we'll see how people react. I'm not too sure how a lot of the typical kind of game audience reacts to diverse game characters. I myself feel that it's a good learning point. If there's a good developer behind it and they put the character and there's something about their culture and their background in there, it's a good learning opportunity to see what's different. But E3 coming up, I'm really hoping that there's some more diverse characters. I would love more protagonists, but even just more supporting characters that are culturally diverse would be amazing. But yeah, it's hard to predict what fresh reveals we're going to see at this year's E3, regardless of character at the moment.
Looking at what's coming up at E3, I mean, we've got the E3 press conferences front and center. and that's going to be exhausting. But going down the list, we've got like EA, Microsoft, Bethesda, Devolver Digital's show is coming up for the first time this year as well, and we've got Ubisoft, Sony, and Nintendo. Last year there weren't really any, I suppose, shows that stuck out for how diverse the stories were and how diverse the characters were. Do you think that there's going to be any change this year? Like, what sort of incentive do these companies have to make games more approachable and more varied?
It's hard to say whether a game can present that opportunity to a developer, because we've seen the Battlefront 2 trailer from EA has black characters in the game, but then again, these are meant to be, complete, like, no personality drones fighting like a war. So
kind of like throwaway representation.
Yeah, it's kind of like, they're there when they take their helmets off, but they never take their helmets off. So you don't know. Yeah, that type of thing. But if the opportunity is presented for them to do that, then they should. And I feel that, like, touching on that, there's a difference between good representation and bad representation. So when we were talking about Grand Theft Auto, just in before the comment section here, not a great representation of any culture, really. But yeah, there's a difference between good representation and bad representation. So while there is bad representation in games like Grand Theft Auto and just kind of nullified, like, nothing representation with, I'm assuming, Battlefront, and why would they risk it either when people got so upset about, the Black Stormtrooper with Force Awakens? So I dare say they'll play it safe there with EA. You don't know, some wildcard presentation like Devolver could totally blow us away with something amazing that you didn't know about. Is it Devolver that have genital jousting the game?
Oh, I feel like I'm not actually totally sure. I just really want that game to come to Australia, man.
Yeah, I'm all about that game. No, I like that. I'm excited personally. I know a lot of people are like Devolver. I'm excited. I think they do decent games and different games, and maybe that's what we need as well. So hopefully they can just come out with something completely different and something that's a bit more diverse. You never know.
Can only hope so. I'll leave it there. Nick, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
What you want to do right now is actually go to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/stickytrigger and subscribe there. Go to our website and read all the articles. What are you doing? Do that, and then follow us on Twitter. We are at StickyTriggerAU, and like us on Facebook, because you've had a rough day. You really should treat yourself. But for now, I'm going to treat myself and go to bed. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. That was the most blasé outro I could have fucking done in my life. Jesus Christ.